The next morning, Sophia woke up with a heavy weight in her chest. Sunlight streamed through her bedroom window, but it felt wrong. Too bright. Too normal. Like the world hadn't just watched her fail the one person who depended on her. She grabbed her phone and immediately regretted it. The internet had exploded overnight. Hollow Creek Ghost was trending. The paranormal investigation footage had gone viral. Millions of views, hundreds of thousands of shares. Everyone was talking about the ghost of Hollow Creek Cemetery, but they didn't understand. They saw a ghost, a phenomenon, a mystery to be solved. They didn't see Adrian. They didn't see a man who'd been alone for 170 years, reaching out for connection, only to be violated by cameras and spectacle and people treating his grave like a tourist attraction. Sophia scrolled through the comments, each one making her feel worse. That ghost looked terrified, LOL. A best paranormal footage of the year. I'm driving to Hollow Creek this weekend to see it for myself. They were making entertainment out of his suffering. Her father knocked on the door. Sophia, can I come in? She closed her phone. Yeah. Tom entered carrying 2 mugs of hot chocolate. He sat on the edge of her bed and handed her one. I've been thinking about what you told me last night. About Adrian, about your mother visiting his grave. He took a sip of his chocolate. I went through your mom's diary this morning, read the parts about him. Sophia's eyes widened. You're not mad? I should be. You've been sneaking out for weeks, going to a cemetery alone at night. That's dangerous, Sophia. But, he paused, but I also understand why. Your mom wrote that when she was at her loneliest. When she felt most invisible, talking to Adrian made her feel seen, made her feel like she mattered. That's exactly how I feel, Sophia whispered. I know. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry I let you get so lonely that you needed a ghost to make you feel heard. Tom set down his mug. But here's what I'm struggling with. If Adrian is real, if he really is trying to come back from death, what happens when he succeeds? Where does he go? What does he do? He'd be a man from 1899 in 2025. He'd have no identity, no family, no place in this world. Sophia hadn't thought about that. She'd been so focused on helping Adrian wake up that she hadn't considered what came after. I don't know, but we can figure it out together. Isn't that better than leaving him trapped forever? Tom looked at his daughter, seeing so much of his wife in her. The same stubborn compassion, the same inability to walk away from someone in need. Your mother would be proud of you, he said softly, and terrified, both at the same time. So what do? We go to the cemetery, together, in daylight, and we see if there's anything left to salvage. The cemetery looked worse in daylight. The grass around Adrian's grave was completely destroyed, churned into mud by dozens of feet. The glowing flowers had been trampled into nothing. Equipment had left deep gouges in the earth. Even the tombstone had been chipped, where someone had tried to take a sample of the strange black stone. Sophia stood at the edge of the destruction, tears burning her eyes. They ruined it. They ruined everything. Tom put his hand on her shoulder. Maybe not everything. The grave is still here. The connection you built with him, that's not something equipment and cameras can destroy. But look at it, Dad. It's destroyed. How is he supposed to gather enough energy to cross over when his grave looks like this? I don't know. But if this Adrian has survived 170 years between life and death, he's resilient. Maybe he just needs time to recover. Sophia knelt beside the grave, placing her hand on the tombstone. It felt cold, not the electric cold of Adrian's presence, just ordinary stone cold. Adrian, are you there? I'm so sorry. I'm sorry I wasn't here. I'm sorry I let them do this to you. Silence. No response. No feeling of connection. Nothing. Maybe he's too weak, Sophia said, her voice breaking. Maybe last night took all his energy, and now he's gone back to where he was before, trapped and alone. Tom knelt beside her. Tell me what your mother did. In her diary, she wrote about feeling his presence. What exactly did she do to establish that connection? Sophia thought back to the diary entries. She brought offerings, food mostly. She talked to him. She came consistently every night for weeks, and she believed. She really, truly believed he was there. Then that's what we do. We start over. We rebuild. Sophia looked at her father in surprise. Tom smiled sadly. Your mother loved him enough to try to help him. You love him enough to risk everything. The least I can do is support you both. We'll do this together, as a family. For the first time in weeks, Sophia felt something like hope. Over the next 3 days, Sophia and her father worked to restore the grave. They replanted grass seed. They cleaned the tombstone, carefully removing the marks left by investigators. They brought new soil to replace what had been torn up. Tom took time off work, something he never did, and Sophia skipped school with his permission. Together, they transformed the destroyed gravesite back into something resembling peace. And every evening, Sophia brought offerings, sandwiches, fruit, flowers she picked from the park. She sat against the oak tree and talked, telling Adrian about her day, about her father finally being present, about how sorry she was for failing him. But there was no response, no electric feeling, no manifestation, no sign that he was listening. Maybe he's gone, Sophia said on the third night, fighting back tears. Maybe the shock of that night was too much and he just gave up. Tom, who had been sitting quietly beside her, said, or maybe he's healing. Maybe he needs time to gather strength again, just like you'd need time to recover from a trauma. But what if he doesn't come back? What if I never feel him again? Then we keep trying. We keep showing up, because that's what you do for people you care about. You don't give up just because things get hard. On the fourth night, something changed. Sophia was alone this time. Her father had to work a shift he couldn't skip. She brought a peanut butter sandwich and an apple, Adrian's favorites based on what always disappeared fastest. As she arranged the food on the tombstone, she said, I know you might not be listening. I know you might be too weak or too hurt to respond. But I'm going to keep coming anyway. Every single night. For as long as it takes. The air remained still. No response. The whole world thinks you're just a ghost now, a viral video, a tourist attraction. But I know better. You're not a phenomenon. You're a person who deserves to be seen for who you really are. Still nothing. Sophia sat down against the oak tree, pulling out a book. I brought something new tonight. It's a book of poetry by Mary Oliver. She writes about nature and loneliness and finding beauty in small things. I thought you might like it. She began to read aloud, her voice soft in the darkness. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. As she read, she didn't notice the way the air was slowly changing, didn't see how frost was beginning to form on the grass around her, didn't feel the presence growing stronger with each word. But when she finished the poem and looked up, Adrian was there. He sat on the tombstone, translucent and flickering, but there. His eyes met hers, and the relief in them was overwhelming. You came back, Sophia breathed. You never left. Adrian's voice was weak, barely audible. Even when I was too broken to respond, I felt you here. Every night, you and your father, trying to fix what they destroyed. I thought I'd lost you. You almost did. Adrian's form flickered. That night, when all those people surrounded me with their equipment and their cameras and their greed for spectacle, something inside me broke. I'd spent 170 years alone, yes, but at least in my isolation, I had dignity. Being treated like a curiosity, like entertainment, it was worse than the loneliness. "I'm so sorry." "No." Adrian's voice grew firmer. "You have nothing to apologize for. You gave me something I thought I'd never have again. Hope, friendship, a reason to fight my way back to the world. What happened wasn't your fault." Sophia stood up, moving closer. "Are you strong enough? Can you still cross over completely?" Adrian looked at his translucent hands. "I don't know. The crossing requires immense energy, and I'm weaker now than I was before. It might take longer. It might require more from you than either of us anticipated. I don't care. However long it takes, whatever it costs, I'll help you." "Sophia, you need to understand something." Adrian's expression grew serious. "The price of return. Mistress Patterson told you about it, didn't she? She said something would be taken in exchange for you crossing back." "It's more specific than that. I've had time to think, time to remember the research I did before I died. The price of return is always balance. Life for life, not necessarily death, but sacrifice." Sophia's stomach dropped. "What kind of sacrifice?" "I don't know exactly. But when I cross over completely, when I return to true life, something of equal value must be given. It could be years from your life. It could be memories. It could be your father's health. It could be something we haven't even considered. But you don't know for sure." "No. Magic is unpredictable. But Sophia, I need you to understand. If the price is too high, if it would hurt you or your father, I won't cross. I'd rather stay in the between space forever than cause harm to the only people who've shown me kindness." Sophia thought about this. Thought about all the things she'd already sacrificed. Her grades, her reputation, her safety, her father's peace of mind. And she realized something important. "Adrian, I've already paid a price. Being your friend has cost me things, but you know what? Those costs were worth it. Because you've given me something too. You've made me feel less alone. You've shown me that even when the world rejects you, even when you're different and misunderstood, there's still hope. That's worth any price." Adrian's eyes filled with those bloody tears ghosts cry. "You're extraordinary. Do you know that?" "No, I'm just lonely, just like you." "Then let's be lonely together, in life, not in death." Over the next 2 weeks, Sophia and Adrian worked toward the final crossing. Each night she brought offerings. Each night he manifested more solidly, staying visible for longer periods. They talked about everything. Adrian told her about his life in the 1800s, about being an outsider even then, obsessed with questions no one else cared about losing everyone he loved to disease and time, and the simple fact that he thought differently than others. Sophia told him about her mother, about the grief that never quite went away, about learning to live with absence. She told him about Ashley's bullying, about her father's struggle, about feeling invisible in her own life. They found comfort in their shared understanding. Two souls separated by more than a century, but connected by the same ache. The same desperate need to be seen, to be known, to matter to someone. Tom started joining them sometimes. At first, he couldn't see Adrian, but after several nights of Sophia describing what she saw, Tom began to sense something, a presence, a weight in the air. And once, just once, he heard Adrian's voice carried on the wind. "Thank you for raising such a remarkable daughter," Adrian had said. Tom had replied, voice shaking, "Thank you for being there for her when I couldn't be." It was the strangest friendship. A grieving father, a lonely child, and a ghost who was determined to become more than dead. But it worked. They became a strange little family, meeting every night beneath the oak tree, sharing food and stories, and the simple comfort of not being alone. But as Adrian grew stronger, as the final crossing approached, the signs became impossible to ignore. The cemetery itself was changing, not just Adrian's grave, but the entire grounds. Flowers bloomed out of season. The air felt charged, electric, like before a massive storm. Animals avoided the area, sensing something unnatural. And Sophia started having dreams. In the dreams, she stood at a crossroads. On one path, Adrian walked into sunlight, fully alive, fully real. On the other path, he faded into darkness, disappearing forever. And between the two paths stood a figure in shadow, holding scales, the balance, the price. "What must I give?" Sophia asked in the dream. The shadow figure never answered, but the scales tipped, and Sophia would wake up gasping, her hand burning where Adrian's mark was branded into her palm. "The dreams are a warning," Mistress Patterson said when Sophia visited the library to tell her about them. "The universe is preparing you. The crossing is close now, and the price will be revealed soon." "How will I know what the price is?" "You'll know when it's asked of you. And Sophia, this is important. You have the right to refuse. No matter what the price is, no matter how much Adrian wants to live, you can say no. Your life, your future, they matter too." But Sophia didn't think she could say no. Not after everything. Not after seeing how much Adrian wanted to exist again, to feel sunlight and taste food and simply be. The night of the final crossing came without warning. Sophia arrived at the grave as usual, but the moment she stepped onto the cemetery grounds, she knew something was different. The air was thick, heavy with power. The glowing flowers around Adrian's grave had multiplied, covering the entire corner of the cemetery in phosphorescent light. And Adrian was already there, standing beside his tombstone. Not sitting, standing, fully solid, fully real. He wore the same clothes he died in, a Victorian-era suit, slightly moth-eaten but distinguished. His long dark hair was pulled back, revealing his pale face, those strange shifting eyes, the sharp features that were simultaneously beautiful and unsettling. "Tonight," he said simply. "It has to be tonight. I can feel it. The barrier is as thin as it will ever be. If I don't cross now, I might not get another chance." Sophia's heart raced. "Are you sure? Are you ready?" "I've been ready for 170 years. Adrian extended his hand. "But I can't do it alone. I need you to anchor me, to hold me here while I pull myself fully through. What do I need to do? Take my hand. Don't let go no matter what happens. And when the price is asked, when the balance demands payment, you'll need to accept it. Only then can the crossing complete." Sophia hesitated. This was it, the moment everything had been building toward. Once she took his hand, once the process began, there was no going back. "What if the price is too high?" she whispered. "Then we'll face it together. But Sophia, I need you to promise me something. If the price is your life, if the balance demands that you die so I can live, you refuse. Do you understand? I won't accept that exchange. But promise me." "I promise." Adrian smiled, and it transformed his face from unsettling to heartbreaking. "Thank you for everything, for seeing me, for believing in me, for being the friend I'd given up hope of ever finding." Sophia took his hand. The moment their palms touched, the world exploded into light. It wasn't regular light, it was something else entirely. Pure energy, pure power, pure magic. Sophia felt herself being pulled forward, being dragged into that light, into the space between worlds where Adrian had existed for so long. She saw it then, the between space, the void where the dead lingered, where consciousness floated without form. It was terrible and beautiful at once, infinite and claustrophobic, filled with whispers of every soul that had ever died, their voices creating a symphony of loss. And she saw Adrian's prison, a tiny bubble of awareness in that infinite void. He'd been trapped there, fully conscious, fully aware for 170 years, unable to move, unable to sleep, unable to do anything except think and remember and slowly go mad from isolation. "Oh, Adrian," Sophia sobbed. "I'm so sorry. I didn't understand. I didn't know it was this bad." "Oh, now you see why I'm willing to pay any price to escape it." The light grew brighter, hotter. Sophia felt something pulling at her, not physically, but deeper, pulling at her essence, her soul, her life force. And then she heard the voice, not Adrian's voice, something older, something that spoke with the authority of universal law. "The balance must be maintained. Life cannot return without sacrifice. Name the price you will pay." Sophia opened her mouth, but before she could speak, she saw them. Flashes of possible prices, different futures, different sacrifices. In one vision, she was 10 years older, but her eyes were empty. She'd given her ability to feel joy, could survive, but never truly be happy again. In another, her father lay in a hospital bed, aged decades in moments. The price was his remaining years. In another, she'd forgotten her mother completely. Every memory, every moment, erased as payment. Each vision was worse than the last, each price more terrible. "No!" Adrian's voice cut through the visions. "These prices are too high. I refuse them all. The balance must be maintained." "Then take something from me. Take my sight. Take my memories. Take anything, but don't hurt her. You have nothing left to take. You are already dead. Only the living can pay the price of return." Sophia felt Adrian's hand trying to pull away from hers, trying to break the connection before the price could be extracted. But she held on tighter. "Wait," she said. "Show me all the options, every possible price. Let me choose." The visions came faster, dozens of them, hundreds, each showing a different sacrifice, a different future. And then Sophia saw one that made her pause. In this vision, she was still herself, still Sophia. But she was different, older somehow, not in years, but in spirit. She'd given something abstract, something that couldn't be measured in blood or memories or time. She'd given her normalcy. The price was that she would forever be marked as different. People would sense something strange about her, something uncanny. She'd never quite fit in, never quite belong to the normal world. She'd be like Adrian, fundamentally separate from everyone around her. But she'd be alive. Her father would be safe, her memories intact. And she'd have a friend who understood exactly what it felt like to be an outsider. "That one," Sophia said. "I choose that price." "Sophia, no!" Adrian tried to pull away. "Don't do this. Being an outsider, being different, it's lonely, it's painful. I wouldn't wish it on anyone." "But I wouldn't be alone," Sophia said, squeezing his hand. "I'd have you. And honestly, I already am different. I already don't fit in. At least this way, there's a reason. At least this way, it means something. You have chosen. The price is accepted. The balance is maintained." The light exploded outward, and Sophia felt something being torn from her, not painfully but definitively, like a piece of herself was being marked, branded, changed forever. She gasped, stumbling backward. The cemetery came back into focus, the normal world. But everything felt slightly off, like reality had shifted 2 degrees to the left. And standing in front of her, no longer translucent, no longer flickering, was Adrian Blackwood, fully alive, fully real. He looked down at his hands in wonder, flexing his fingers. Then he touched his chest, feeling his heartbeat for the first time in 170 years. "I'm alive," he whispered. "I'm actually alive." Sophia smiled through her tears. "Welcome back." Adrian looked at her, and his expression crumbled. "What did you give? What was the price?" "My normality. People will always see me as different now, strange, other." "Sophia, that's not—" "It's perfect," she interrupted. "It's exactly what I would have chosen anyway." And she realized it was true. She'd never wanted to be normal. She'd never wanted to fit in with people like Ashley, who were cruel for entertainment. She'd always been different, always been the weird girl who read too much and felt too deeply. Now that difference meant something. It had purpose. It had saved a life. Adrian pulled her into a hug. He was solid, real warm. Not cold like when he was a ghost. He was truly alive. "Thank you," he whispered. "Thank you for giving me a second chance." They stood like that for a long moment, two strange souls who'd found each other across an impossible divide. Then Sophia heard footsteps behind them. She turned to see her father running toward them, phone in hand. "Sophia, are you okay? I felt something, like an earthquake, and I..." He stopped, staring at Adrian. "Who? Who is that?" Adrian stepped forward, extending his hand. "Tom Martinez, I'm Adrian Blackwood. I've heard a great deal about you. Thank you for raising such a remarkable daughter." Tom stared at the offered hand, stared at this stranger in Victorian clothing who somehow knew his name. "This is your..." "Yes, I'm the ghost your daughter has been helping, although I'm not a ghost anymore." Adrian smiled. "It's a long story. Perhaps we should sit down." The three of them sat beneath the oak tree, which had sprouted dozens of new green shoots, coming back to life along with Adrian. And as the first light of dawn began to touch the sky, Sophia told her father everything. About the crossing, about the price, about what she'd sacrificed and why. Tom listened without interrupting. When she finished, he was quiet for a long time. Finally, he said, "You gave up ever being normal, ever fitting in." "I was never going to fit in anyway, Dad." "Maybe, but you chose it, made it permanent." Tom looked at Adrian. "She did this for you, to save you. I know, and I will spend every day of my second life making sure that sacrifice wasn't wasted." Tom studied Adrian carefully. "You're really alive? Really here?" "As alive as you are. And what are your intentions? What will you do now?" Adrian looked at Sophia, then back at Tom. "I don't know. I died in 1899. The world has changed so much I barely recognize it. I have no identity, no documentation, no place in this society. But I have something I didn't have before. I have friends, people who care about me. If you'll allow it, I'd like to stay close to them. To learn this new world, to finally, after 170 years, actually live." Tom was quiet again. Then he stood up, offering his hand to Adrian. "You'll need a place to stay. We have a spare room. It's small, but it's warm." Adrian's eyes widened. "You're inviting me into your home after everything?" "My daughter sacrificed something precious to save you. That makes you family, and family takes care of each other." Sophia felt tears streaming down her face as she watched her father and Adrian shake hands. Two broken souls who understood loss, offering each other a chance at healing. The next few weeks were strange and beautiful and difficult. Adrian moved into their apartment, sleeping on a mattress in what had been a storage room. Tom worked on getting him documentation, inventing a backstory about Adrian being a distant relative from overseas who'd been off the grid for years. It wasn't perfect. There were complications, questions they couldn't fully answer. But with Mistress Patterson's help and some creative paperwork, they managed to create a legal identity for someone who shouldn't exist. Adrian struggled with the modern world. Everything was too fast, too bright, too complicated. Simple things like smartphones and cars and television overwhelmed him, but Sophia was patient, teaching him slowly, helping him adapt. At school, things changed for Sophia. Just as the price had promised, people sensed something different about her, something uncanny. They gave her a wider berth, whispered when she walked by, treated her with a mixture of curiosity and unease. Even Ashley stopped bullying her, not out of kindness, but out of an instinctive wariness. There was something about Sophia now, something that said, "Don't mess with me," But Sophia didn't mind. She'd never wanted to be popular anyway. And she had something better. She had real friends. Her father, who finally smiled again. Adrian, who was learning to live for the first time in over a century, and even Mistress Patterson, who invited them for tea every Sunday to discuss books and history and magic. 3 months after Adrian's return, Sophia was sitting in the cemetery beneath the oak tree, doing her homework. It had become her favorite spot, peaceful and quiet, and filled with good memories. Adrian joined her carrying 2 cups of hot chocolate. He'd been working at the library with Mistress Patterson, helping to catalogue historical documents. His knowledge of the 1800s was invaluable, and it gave him purpose. "How was school?" he asked, sitting beside her. "Fine. We're reading Frankenstein in English class," Adrian smiled. "Ah, Mary Shelley. I met her once, you know. Well, not her directly, but I attended a lecture she gave in London. She was brilliant." "That's so cool. Can you tell me about it for my essay?" "Of course." They sat in comfortable silence for a while. Then Adrian said, "Sophia, I've been thinking about the price you paid, about what you sacrificed." "Adrian, we've talked about this. I know you don't regret it. But I want you to understand something." He turned to face her. "You didn't just give me a second life. You gave me a first life, a real one. Before I died, I was always alone, always isolated, always apart from everyone. But now I have a family. I have purpose. I have a reason to wake up every day. I'm glad. What I'm trying to say is, the price you paid, being marked as different, as strange, it's not a curse. It's a gift, because that difference, that strangeness, it's what let you see me in the first place. It's what let you reach across death itself to pull someone back. That's not normal. That's extraordinary." Sophia felt tears in her eyes. "You really think so?" "I know so. And Sophia, I promise you this, you will never be alone again. Whatever life brings, whatever challenges come, you'll always have me. Always have us." He gestured toward the cemetery entrance, where Tom was walking toward them, carrying a bag of food for their evening picnic. "I know," Sophia said, smiling, "and honestly, that's worth any price." As the sun set over Hollow Creek Cemetery, 3 souls sat together beneath the oak tree. A grieving father learning to live again, a dead man who'd been given a second chance, and a lonely girl who'd found her purpose in the most impossible place. They were strange. They were different. They didn't fit into normal society, but they fit with each other, and in the end, that was all that mattered. Sophia was 13 now, standing at the edge of Hollow Creek Cemetery on a crisp autumn evening. She'd grown tall, her once childish face now showing hints of the woman she'd become. But her eyes still held that same intensity, that same depth that came from seeing things others couldn't. She wasn't alone. Beside her stood a young boy, maybe 9 years old, with dark hair and nervous eyes. "You really talk to dead people?" he asked. Sophia smiled. "Not exactly, but I help them sometimes, when they're stuck, when they're lonely, when they need someone to believe in them." The boy looked at the cemetery, scared but curious. "My mom says I'm weird because I see things, shadows that move wrong, voices that no one else hears." "You're not weird, you're just sensitive, and that's actually a gift, even if it doesn't always feel like it. Will you teach me how to help them?" Sophia thought about Adrian, who was at home helping her father prepare dinner, who'd become a respected historian and author, writing books about forgotten history, who'd found love and purpose in a world that should have rejected him. She thought about her mother, who'd started this whole journey decades ago by leaving food at a lonely grave. And she thought about the price she'd paid, the mark that made her forever different, forever strange, forever able to walk between worlds. "Yes," she said, "I'll teach you. But first, there's someone I'd like you to meet." She led the boy to a grave in the far corner, beneath an oak tree that was now full and green and alive. The grave was covered in fresh flowers and well-tended grass. "This is Adrian's grave," Sophia explained. "Well, it was his grave. Now it's more like a memorial, a reminder of what happened here, of what's possible when you believe in the impossible. What happened? Someone was lonely, someone else cared, and together they changed death itself." The boy stared at the grave, at the inscription carved into black stone. "Death is only a door." "Is that really true?" he asked. Sophia smiled, remembering a pale hand reaching through cracked stone, remembering frost spreading across dead grass, remembering the moment someone she loved opened his eyes and truly lived for the first time in 170 years. "Yes," she said, "it's really true. Death is only a door, and sometimes if you're brave enough, if you care enough, you can help someone walk back through it." The boy looked up at her with hope in his eyes, the same hope Sophia had seen in Adrian's eyes all those years ago. "Will you show me how?" "I will, but it starts with something simple, seeing people, really seeing them, even when everyone else looks away. Even dead people. Especially dead people, because sometimes the dead are just people who forgot how to live, and they need someone to remind them." As they walked back through the cemetery, Sophia felt the familiar presence. Not Adrian, he was alive now, but others. Whispers in the wind, shadows in the corners, lost souls who'd heard what happened here and came seeking hope. She'd helped 12 of them cross over in the past 5 years. 12 between walkers who'd been trapped, alone, desperate. 12 impossible resurrections that the world would never believe. But Sophia didn't need the world to believe. She had Adrian as living proof. She had her gift, her purpose, her strange and beautiful life. She was different, she was marked, she was forever separate from normal people, and she wouldn't change a single thing. Because in a world that often felt cold and empty and alone, Sophia had learned the most important lesson of all. Sometimes the greatest magic isn't bringing the dead back to life. It's recognizing that everyone, living or dead, human or ghost, strange or normal, deserves to be seen, deserves to be heard, deserves to matter to someone. And that simple act of recognition, of caring, of showing up night after night with an offering and an open heart, that's what changes the world, one lonely soul at a time.